All right, and I think there's a good time to move on because we have a good question here. Ruben says, which card has a better undercard between Top Rank and the Zone? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the Zone one. We can move on to. Oh man, what a great fight! What a great opponent for Teofimo Lopez, Steve Claggett, whoever that is. But here's the undercard for that fight. We have Robesi Ramirez against Brandon Leon Benitez with a record of 21-2. Robesi 13-2. Elvis, Rodriguez also under 15-1 from the Dominican Republic. We have Emiliano Vargas now 10-0. He reached double digits in wins against a guy who's 9-8-2, ranked 641. Chris, wow. Nico Ali Walsh is also on there, 9-1. His opponent also 9-1. So some good names on there. Some good names. Nico Ali Walsh, Emiliano Vargas, Elvis Rodriguez, Robesi Ramirez, and of course Teofimo Lopez. How does that undercard sound, Chris?
Off of name recognition, it sounds pretty good. Nothing crazy that pops out, but like based on names, it's a good card.
All right. And look, man, let's get straight into this guy, man. I said I was going to do some research on him. Uh, I wanted to find out who this guy is, Chris. Steve Claggett. I didn't do any research. I didn't waste my time. I'm gonna be honest, but I can go ahead and show you the box rec. 38 wins, 26 by KO, 7 losses. He's been stopped once. 35 years old, representing Canada. Does it say his ranking on here? Might say it down here, but he's coming off what, a few victories actually. Look at that. He hasn't lost since 2021. He's got uh a good a good,
Freak.
a good, yeah, good streak right there. Some good momentum coming in. I mean, he's still going to get stopped, but I mean, I feel like that's all you need to know about Steve Claggett, Chris. I don't know if you did any research on him. You have anything that you want to tell us about Steve Claggett?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't do enough research on him. Teofimo calls him the only guy that decided to step up. You mentioned like a nice little run that he's had. He's active. That's something you want to see from fighters. If they're gonna challenge for a title, I mean, let them be active. And since 2021, many fights, many wins, but this is a different ball game. So yeah, he's ranked 8 by BoxRec, but he is 35, Gio. So again, this guy's gonna have to, sneak into the Cambosos, body and to even have a prayer. And you better hope Teofimo is like so distracted with outside problems because, yeah, man, I don't see this kid having a chance.
Yeah, I I don't see how you name, how this guy's 8, you said? I mean, that don't even make
Yeah,
sense. At 140? I mean, that's crazy.
by BoxRec.
That's wild. Like, Boxer be having some funny rankings though. But look, this out Teofimo Lopez coming into the fight. His last uh his last victory came against Jermaine Ortiz, who had that lone loss to Lomachenko. That was in February of 2024. That was this year. Wow. I didn't realize he had fought this year. No disrespect, but that fight in 2023 was a big one of the best in his career. Josh Taylor, who was undefeated at the time, uh, Teofimo was able to defeat him convincingly. Before that, Sandor Martin by split decision. Many people weren't happy with that one. Pedro Campa, TKO. 2021 was when that loss to Cambosos came by split decision. Before that, he had some good wins. Lomachenko, Komi, Nakatani, so we'll see what Teofimo Lopez we get. Someone in the comments earlier mentioned that Teofimo usually, you know, fights to the level of his opponents. If he's fighting a really good opponent, he steps it up. He looks great more often than not. And when he knows he's gonna win, he seems to struggle a little bit. He doesn't put on the show that we're used to. So we'll see what Teofimo Lopez we get. I can drop my prediction right now. This shouldn't be a a tough one to decide. I think this is a no-brainer. I think he wins by stoppage. I think he should get a KO. This is what this fight is for. This is a fight for Teofimo to shine, and I don't expect anything less from Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah. Easy. Win for Teofimo. I'm trying to see if I can separate myself and maybe steal a point here. I'm trying to see if there's anything here that makes me think that Steve Claggett will go the distance. He's been knocked out once out of 7 fights. So he's got some resistance. So I'm gonna say, and I might be wrong, but I'm gonna say the distance. I'm gonna try to risk it. I'm gonna risk the biscuit a little bit, Joe, to try to separate myself. But I'm gonna say Teofimo's gonna have a bit of an off night, like you said, Gio. He does tend to fight to the level of his opponents, or maybe he doesn't train fully. I think about Mike Tyson when he fought a Buster. He's like, I'm gonna beat this guy easy. I don't need to train fully. So I'm gonna say that Teofimo has an off night, but he still wins. But he goes the distance. So I'm gonna say there. Your boy Steve Claggett surprises you a little bit, Gio.
Wow, Chris, I think you just did the impossible. I think you just did the impossible, Chris. You got me excited for this fight, Chris. You got me excited. I want to watch now. I'm intrigued now because, I'm going KO. You're going decision. Oh, man, if the female looks bad in this one, man, I'm going to be so upset. We spoke about it last week. The female friend of the show. We got a signed glove about the female right here, right behind me. I know it's a little blurred out, but, cool guy. Off camera, very cool guy. Sometimes I know we get a little frustrated watching him. Like we said, sometimes he fights to the level of his opponent. But Chris, I'm watching now. I might have it on my computer on the side. Of course, we're gonna be watching Bam against Gallo, but I'm actually kind of excited now about this fight.
Yeah, again, like we have Teofimo highly rated because of the stuff he did. The run that he had to Ascension. He was one of those guys that just separated himself from some of his counterparts that he had in the amateurs. Like as soon as he hit the pro games, he was just blazing in it. He was throwing out the takeover. He was throwing out that phrase, and it felt like it. And what he did to Comey, what he did to Josh Taylor, I was like, man, this guy could be it. But again, it's all mental, and so again, it's what kind of Teofimo you get come fight night. Because if it's a focused, undistracted Teofimo Lopez, he can give help to anybody. So there was even a moment where I was like, hey, he might be the most exciting fight for Terrence Crawford, but as of late, he hasn't. So it comes down to what kind of Teofimo do you get on a given night, and I think a guy like Steve Claggett doesn't motivate him, to train to the fullest. So I'm gonna go with the decision, Gio. I might be wrong though. He might knock him out in one round. So we'll see.
Let's go to a comment here. Ruben says, still hard to believe Kambosos beat Lopez. Oh man, tell me about it. I think I said last week or a couple weeks ago, I didn't even rate Kambosos maybe a top 5, at 135, even when he had all the belts. I'm like, this guy's probably not even in the top 5. I can't believe he won the belts. No disrespect. I like Kambosos, outside of the ring. On the ring, I just don't think he has it like that. But Big Bro says Theo has had the biggest fumble of momentum in a while after the Loma fight. Yeah, losing to Kambosos, looking a little shaky against some of the guys that he should have stopped. But maybe that Josh Taylor fight brought him back a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see what Teofimo we get, man. It's crazy. We spent, I don't know, 10 minutes on this. I didn't think this was going to be possible, Chris. I mean, he's fighting a guy that nobody knows, Steve Claggett.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Hey, we were able to speak on it for about 10 minutes. So not bad.
I was gonna say, Gio, show me somebody that predicted Kambosos knocking down Teofimo Lopez in the first round, and I'll show you a liar. Because ain't nobody predicted that, man. Nobody predicted that. But hey, we'll see what Teofimo brings this Saturday.
Hey, let me tell you this too. Show me anybody in the world who thinks Steve Claggett's gonna win this fight. I mean, that's the
There's
biggest liar in the world,
there's
right?
somebody out there, man. There's somebody out there. But yeah, I'll say it now. If Claggett, becomes Cambosos 2.0 and somehow does something, I'll call that the upset of the year right now, just because we have no idea who he is. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see what happens Saturday.
Look at the odds, Chris. Teofimo Lopez minus 1100,
Yeah,
minus 1100. Steve Claggett plus 650. That's disrespectful, man. If I'm putting money on Steve Claggett, I want to make a lot more money than that.
yeah, man.
Come
That should be
on,
a
man.
plus 1,200 at least.
Come on,
Come
man.
on.
What's up with these? Let me see what the other guys, how the other guys have it. Let's see. FanDuel. Let's see if they even have this up. Yeah, minus 1,200 on this one, plus 710 for Claggett. All right, a little better, a little better, a little better. I'm just saying, man, if I'm putting money on Steve Claggett, I better make a ton of money. Plus 7 something, it's not enough.
Yeah, 11. Bet $11 to win $1. Nah, man. Mejor me quedo con with $11, man. Come on, Tio. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens. Again, I think that's a very good card on name recognition. But yeah, man, still the fight to see has to be Bam and Gallo Estrada.
Yeah, there you go. And Ruben saying, does Claggett have any power? Look, he has 38 victories, 26 by KO. That looks pretty good, right? If you look at his resume, I mean, you probably won't recognize any names. His last fight, he won by second round KO right there. This was in January of this year, but hey, we're not the right people to ask. I'm straight up. I did no research on this guy. I was not interested in Steve Claggett. Never watched him fight, never heard of his name until now. But let me tell you, he's not winning this fight. Nah, come on.
He's Canadian, man. I mean, Canada's not known for boxers, man. They're known for their hockey. But shout out to Thunder Gaddy, man. He's probably Canada's most action fight friendly fighter. So we'll see, man. Maybe Steve Claggett, shows us something that we don't know. So let's go.
Oh man. Big Bro says the fake over. Not even his family members believe he's winning this. Talking about Steve. He has to be at least plus 1,000, he says. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Those are.
Come on, man. You gotta make the people want to bet for Steve Claggett, man. 650. Eso no ni para las tortillas, compa.
Come on, man. What was Ryan? Ryan was like what? Plus against Haney? It was around the same, no? Like plus 400 or something. It was pretty wide in that fight. I saw it earlier. I just can't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, that's all I got for your boy Steve Claggett, Chris. Man, I can't wait to never say his name again on this podcast, Chris. Next week is all he's getting. And that's the last time I'm going to say Steve Claggett.
Let's make it interesting, Gio. If for some reason Steve Claggett somehow pulls off the momentous upset, you got to wear a Steve Claggett shirt.
I will make it. They'll probably ask me how to spell it. I might just make it with a marker, man. Nobody's heard of Claggett before, but if Steve Claggett wins, you will never see this Teofimo Lopez glove ever again in the background. I'm putting it away. And we might not speak. Hey, we're saying we might not speak of Ryan's name for the next year or so, or Devin Haney's, because they're not going to be fighting. We might as well put Teofimo in that list.
No, let's not bust a Tim Bradley now, Gio. You don't want to go down Tim Bradley road, man. Hey, that's a nice glove. Let's keep that one. But I agree with the shirt.
I'm not retiring. The homie didn't even pay up anyway, man. It's crazy.
Shout out to Timmy, man. Shout out to Timmy.